Journalism with public interest and integrity in mind. By the students, for the students. You're watching RAM TV News.
Good day and welcome to RAM TV. I'm Katie Scholl and let's take a look at what's going on around campus. Let's go to Caden Dover and learn about the 9/11 Memorial and all that was included.
Hi, this is Caden Dover from RAM TV, and today marks the 24th anniversary of one of the worst terrorist attacks in the United States. I was lucky enough to be able to interview people born before and after 9/11 to get their insight. September 11, 2001 started as a normal day, but at about 7:46 a.m. tragedy struck. Here to talk about that day is Philip Nicholson, the Director of Affiliated Military and Veterans Services.
I enlisted in the Marine Corps in November of 1990. So on 9/11, 2001, I had been in the Marine Corps just over 10 years. At the time, I was an instructor on Goodfellow Air Force Base teaching intelligence to Marines and Airmen. Okay. On the day of 9/11, I was actually home on vacation. We call it leave in the military, but I was home. And my wife woke me up because I had slept in that morning. And she said, something weird's happening on the TV. And it looks like a building hit another building in New York. An aircraft hit a building in New York, or an airplane hit a building in New York. And I was like, really? That's strange. And so we turned on the TV and we sat there and we watched it and we saw the second aircraft hit. And I said, oh no, that's bad, because it was.
Now here to talk about 9/11 is someone who wasn't born yet, Cadet Colonel Matthew Bost.
So I grew up in a military environment, so as a kid, hearing about all my dad's stories and hearing about 9/11 and being raised in the public school system, I did hear every year, this was yearly talk of remembering 9/11 and getting to hear people speak about it. It's just, as a kid, the call to arms was definitely a big thing in my life, and 9/11 was just a reminder of that, and that call to duty, call to service, and to serve my country, to do whatever I can, a small cog in a big machine, to help prevent something like this from ever happening again.
The events of that day not only changed the United States, but changed the world. Here to talk about the aftermath, about how the events changed the world, is Major Evan Walters.
Shoot. There's a whole lot that we could talk about on that. So I'll kind of throw out TSA. They, sort of spawned out as a result of the events of 9/11 is, how do we make travel more secure? How do we keep Americans more secure? So it's definitely kind of helped control a little bit more of how we get around, because you never know who might be out there willing to do harm to you, to your fellow citizens, or just the world. So, but kind of on that end, the world sort of has that shared, hey, this event happened, that, people other than Americans were just around for and kind of experiencing through us, that I think helped make us and our partner ally nations a little bit closer because of that.
Here is Cadet Natalie Bayatpour to talk about her experience with why this event is important.
I think that after 9/11, there was a huge kind of push for community, especially with military and civilians. So I major in intelligence and analysis, so I kind of see that civilian side. A lot of the first few classes are talking about 9/11. So you kind of see that that civilian side, and then I get that military side from ROTC, and I think it really brought community back to our country, and I think you still see it because we have events like this every year. We did events like this in grade school, middle school, high school now. So I think it really brings people together to remember those who lost their lives and those still affected by it.
These events have caused a significant transformative impact on our world and society as a whole.
It changed the United States in a way that nobody could have envisioned. We're not the same as we were in the 20th century. And I don't think we'll ever go back.
This has been Caden Dover with RAM TV.
Thanks, Caden. Wednesday, September 17th marks National Constitution Day. In the University Center, there will be a table set up with free pocket constitutions, bookmarks, and historical trivia questions. Answer a question correctly and enter for a free snow cone. The library is also celebrating by offering samples of government documents in print and online, and U.S. government-themed coloring books. At 3 p.m., listen for the chiming of the Housley Tower. The bells will ring for 1 minute in honor of the moment the Constitution was signed. April Young interviews the president of the Wildlife Society to learn more about the new student organization.
Hi, I'm April from Ram TV, and today we're at the Cabinet Science Building to learn more about the Wildlife Society. On September 10th, Angelo State's chapter of the Wildlife Society had their very first meeting. According to Max Rowe, president of the Wildlife Society at Angelo State, our chapter will have a specific focus on building a community here at Angelo State, as well as offering employment opportunities for students.
The Wildlife Society was created as like a place where wildlife professionals could come together and talk about issues that are pressing.
The Wildlife Society will host team-based competitions, including a plant identification contest, a quiz bowl, and a naturalist contest. Members will also have the opportunity to participate in community service events and field work, including the anticipated East Foundation deer capture.
They're going to allow a bunch of students to go down there and participate with capturing some of the deer and like taking measurements, doing research, and then releasing them back.
The Wildlife Society is open to anyone who is interested, but has a specific appeal to students in the agriculture and biology departments.
Our goal is to kind of have a bridge between the ag and bio departments.
If you wish to attend, meetings are held in room 100 of the Cabinet Science Building every other Wednesday at 6:30. Angelo State's Wildlife Society can also be found on GroupMe, Instagram, and Facebook, where they have posted interest forms for upcoming events.
We should have more events coming up, more volunteer opportunities, and also just group activities to get to know each other.
I hope you've learned a little bit more about the Wildlife Society here at Angelo State. This has been April with Ram TV.
Thanks, April. After the break, we go to Justin Juanillo for the latest in entertainment.
Hi guys! See the history of headwear and its importance throughout our past. From August 28th to January 4th, witness the global language of headwear at the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts. There, see the new limited time exhibit consisting of over 80 different hats from over 40 different countries, reaching Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, spanning through the mid to late 20th century. See hats represent art and time by visiting the museum at 1 Love Street, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tickets only $5. Until next time, Ram fam, goodbye.
Thanks, Jesslyn. In honor of Suicide Awareness Month, ASU is remembering the 1,100 college students who die by suicide each year with a visual display of flags. The flags are displayed as a visual reminder of the deceased and highlight the importance of increasing mental health awareness. Attendees also have the opportunity to write a note to remember a loved one or write an inspirational message to those struggling. If you or someone you know is struggling, there is help available. You can call the ASU Counseling Services, the ASU Crisis Helpline, or the National Suicide Prevention Line. Now let's take a look at this week's 5-day weather forecast. On Monday, we have a high of 92, a low of 68. Tuesday, a high of 90, low of 69. Wednesday, a high of 94, a low of 68. Thursday, a high of 95, a low of 68. And Friday, a high of 95 and a low of 67. After the break, we go to Kate Hinojosa with all things ASU sports.
What's up, Ram fam? I'm Caden Hosta, and let's take a look at all things ASU sports. The ASU Rams football team opened their season with a 41-20 win against Emporia State on Saturday, improving to a 2-0 overall this season. The Rambells volleyball team won against 4 different teams this past weekend before losing to Colorado Christian on Tuesday. And lastly, the Bells golf team came in 5th in their first tournament of the season. Next, let's go to Naya Ochoa, who takes us to the intramural fields to learn more about how you can get involved with sports outside of the classroom.
This is Naya Ochoa with Ram TV, and let's take a closer look at the intramurals program at Angelo State University. Intramural sports at Angelo State University provide students with structured opportunities to participate in recreational athletics. Organized by the University Recreational Center, intramurals promote physical activity, teamwork, and student engagement outside the classroom. More than 2,000 students compete in 20-plus team and individual sports every year. Games are held after 6 p.m., with some games starting as late as 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Students can sign up as a free agent, join a registered student organization team, or create their own team. Equipment for games will be provided by the UREC Center. Currently in season is flag football, badminton, disc golf, and tennis. The volleyball registration meeting will be held on October 14th at 7 p.m. in the Cavness Building, room 100. For more information, go to the university website at angelo.edu. For RAM TV, this is Naya Ochoa.
Let's take a look at everything coming up in ASU sports. The Rams football team will be on the road this weekend as they go against Eastern New Mexico State. Bell's volleyball will be back in Colorado this weekend for a doubleheader. And lastly, the Ram Bell soccer team will travel to Dallas for a match against Dallas Baptist. And that's everything in ASU sports. AJ Garcia goes out and interviews the director of athletics to learn more about what he does.
With the 2025-2026 academic year starting so soon, and all these sports happening at the same time so fast, it really brings that question, who's in control of all of this? Today we answer that question when interviewing Coach James Reed, who's the director of athletics here on campus. Coach James Reed has been the athletic director since 2016. He said that he felt his calling was to be a coach and loved it so much and was privileged to be able to move up to being the director of athletics.
Well, it was a great time of coaching. I feel like the good Lord called me to coach and teach, and that's what I came to school out here at Angelo State to do. Been very blessed to have some great colleagues to work with and great student athletes in our program over the years that have seen a lot of success come our way. I didn't imagine it being at the university level, but I've spent all my time here at Angelo State University. I started as student assistant, worked my way up to graduate assistant, full-time assistant, and then head coach.
During his time being coach, he was also assistant athletic director, and when the athletic director had left in the middle of the year, he was elevated by the president to become the AD he is today.
I just felt like that was a door the good Lord was opening, and one that I felt like I should try to pursue and try to serve the university in a different manner.
Coming from an impressive track family, it was obvious that he had continued the tradition of playing the sport himself, and coming from a small town, it wasn't uncommon to see him in almost all sports while growing up. His two favorite sports, though, being football and track.
Obviously in Texas, you gotta love football, and so I did, but track and field was something that's near and dear to my family, and so I also enjoyed that, and that's why I found myself coaching in that area.
Some of the challenges that he faced when taking the position was that he was completely new to the position, but that didn't deter him from succeeding.
I think the biggest challenge in being in athletics at the university level, whether it's coaching or administration, is getting that first chance.
Now that we learned a little bit more about the Director of Athletics, Coach James Reed, this is AJ Garcia with RAM TV. Thank you.
Thanks, AJ. ASU hosts its annual Family Weekend by welcoming extended members of the Ram fam to campus. Celebrations begin on Friday, September 19th with the Meyer Museum Collections, dinner at the CAF, and UCPC Bingo. On Saturday, September 20th, families are invited to join the President and the First Lady for breakfast in the UC. In the afternoon, the Ram fam is invited to the Ram Bell soccer game versus Lubbock Christian, the Ram Jam tailgate, and Rams football game versus Western New Mexico. Some activities will require a ticket. All ASU students are free to attend sports events with an ID. Well, that's it for this week's news. My name is Katie Scholl. For more RAM TV content, you can visit RAM TV's YouTube channel by looking up RAM Media. Thank you for watching and have a great week.